The very group that had been demoted while these boys were promoted were watching the boys. They didn't care so much about what God they were worshiping, but they just wanted to go and tell the king that they might get back at them.
All right.
I think I want to tell you that everybody that's with you is not with you. Everybody that speaks in your ear is not speaking to support you.
All right.
So it is, they ran to the king and listened at that word. They said, "Oh king, live forever."
All right.
But we got to report the same group of boys, men you placed over your affairs are defying your decree. That was the astrologer report, 8 through 12, 13 through 15. The king's urging, the king liked these boys because they were friends of Daniel. So the king goes to them and he urged them. He said, "I know you're good, young men, so I'm going to give you another chance. I'm going to give orders for the band to play the tune again. And when you hear the music,
All right.
you need to bow down. If you do not bow down, then you will burn." Look at the testimony of these young men in verse 16 through 18. They said, "Well, king, we know you're the king.
Yeah.
We're careful, baby, how we respond to you because we know you're the king.
Yeah.
But there is a king that is above you, king.
Yeah.
And we will not defy the King of Kings to bow down to your decree."
Come on, Pastor.
Yes, Romans 13 tells us we ought to obey the rulers of our land. But the Bible also tells us we are never to disobey God to obey the government.
Yeah.
And so it is, these boys took a stand for righteousness. They said, "We will not bow, burn if we must.
Yeah.
But we believe our God is able, even if he chooses not to deliver us from thine hand." I pause long enough to tell somebody it's hard. It's really hard. Week after week, losing family members to this pandemic. We've been affected. We've lost 2 members getting ready to bury the second and had multiple members test positive. And many family members are losing heart, fainting weak. But I began to share with them in family devotion. I don't want to get it. I don't want to go out that way. But my conviction is, if it be so, God is able. To God be the glory. And you must have the same conviction. He knows what's best for us. Yes, many have been practicing social distance. Many have been wearing the mask. Many have been staying away from public gathering. They still got the virus. I think I ought to just tell you, when God has a plan for you, you cannot outrun God's plan or his will. But like the boys, you must be willing to say, "God, I trust you with everything that's within me." So then the king, in the succeeding verses, after having thrown Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace, verses 24 through 30 reveals 2 unusual and amazing things. First of all, he looked in verse 24 and 5 and saw that the boys were still alive. Here they are in the furnace that's been turned up 7 times hotter. And the king looks in, astonished, they are still alive. Not only are they still alive, but there's no smoke even on their gums. That God of ours is able. Isaiah 43 and 2 said, when you pass through the waters, I am with you. If he is able to make a Red Sea part and allow the children of Israel to walk on dry land, he can handle fiery furnace. If he's able to walk on the water like a sidewalk and then make the thunder and the wind get laryngitis and able to tell them, peace, be still. I think I need to tell you, he can handle a fiery furnace. If he's able to take 2 fish, 5 barley loaves of bread and feed 5,000 souls, he's able to handle a fiery furnace and a pandemic called COVID-19. Well, the king kept looking and he said, with the wind 3, but behold, I see 4. And the 4th one looks like the Son of God. Aren't you glad to know that we have a God that will get in the furnace with you and then bring you out and you will not even smell like smoke? I got to close him now in the midst of this humidity, but let me share a story that I shared with the Word for the Day in Radio Land on Friday. It's a story of an old stubborn donkey. It is said the donkey was so stubborn his owner didn't even like him. One day, that old stubborn donkey fell in an abandoned well and began to wail before the church stands John as a musician ministers to us. It may be one here out of the ark to sing.
Thank you.